Most people think making $100,000 fast is impossible. But what if it's not about working harder or getting lucky or going viral? What if it's just about thinking differently? If I absolutely had to make $100,000 before 2026, I wouldn't hustle. I wouldn't post every day. I wouldn't build a funnel. I'd do one simple thing and it would work way faster than you think. Last week, I was hosting my Inner Circle members, part of a high level group coaching program I run here in Tampa for what I call the Effortless Business Mastermind. And we had a lot of fun. We had some good food, enjoyed time at the beautiful property down here at the JW Marriott downtown Tampa on the Riverwalk. It's beautiful. But the work we did, my friend, was getting people up in front of the group and putting them on the hot seat and coaching them on their biggest challenge in their business right now. It takes a lot of guts to stand up there and say, hey, here's where I am in my business. Here's where I'm stuck. Would you speak into it? And these entrepreneurs had the guts. They did it. And so many of them, interestingly enough, already knew what they needed to do. They just needed to hear other people, maybe myself as well, give them permission to do it, which is a lesson in of itself. But also, so many of them didn't see what was right in front of them, or what seemed logical to them was missing something that they were tripping over, like a better way or a faster way right in front of them. One of the gentlemen that came out is a really successful entrepreneur. And one of the things I had challenged him to do and that he wanted to do in this next phase of business growth to get from where he was, a couple $100,000 a year, to where he wants to be, 400, 600, 800. I think he could get to $1 million very quickly. But at the minimum, doubling what he's doing was he needed to create a new offer. He's got a great subscription-based offer, but I was like, you need a next level premium offer that you haven't launched yet. And we were talking about what that could be, and he knows that's next for him. And I'll never forget at the very end of the event, we're going around, we're like, okay, what's your action item? Every one of you, like, you learned a lot, you took a lot of notes from your hot seat, everybody else, what's your action item? What are you going to do when you walk out of here? Priority number one. And he said, I'm going to create that premium offer and launch it by March. Now, this is November, early November when I'm doing this event. And so I'm thinking March, December, January, February, March. You're talking about you're giving yourself 4 months to launch this thing? And he was like, yeah, that's when I need to have it launched by. I'm like, sure, worst case scenario, but why are you waiting 4 months? Why not launch it next week? Like what he wanted to create, he could create on the plane home. And he could be selling it that same day if he really wanted to. And at first he was like, I mean, yeah, I guess I could. But then you could see the light go on of like, yeah, why am I artificially waiting 4 months to do this thing that's right in front of me? We talked about this a little bit last week. Wealth has a need for speed. The whole myth of I'm not ready yet, that's poor person thinking, not rich person thinking. So I challenged him to go now. I challenged him to sell big and sell big now. And if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, and we're like almost 6 weeks out from the end of the year, it's almost 2026, or whenever you're watching or listening, why not make $100,000? Let's say that's your goal. I'd love to make 6 figures one day, or I'd love to make an additional $100,000 in my business. When we say that, we put it off out there like it's this thing out there that I hope happens to me one day, or I intend to make it happen one day. Well, what if we just make it happen in the next 6 weeks? Like, there's no offer police or business police that are saying you got to slow down, you're going too fast. Right? You don't get a ticket for going fast in business. You get rewarded for going fast in business. And so as an action taker that's a money maker, I want you to take action. So here's what I want to do in today's episode. It's very simple. I want to give you a play-by-play blueprint of what I would do if I'm in your shoes and I'm like, I have to make $100,000 in the next 6 weeks. Here's exactly what I would do. And I hope you do it too. And I hope you do it sooner. And I hope you make more than 100,000. But let's just pull out a number that everybody is like, I would love to make my first 100,000 or my next 100,000. Here's how I would do it in 6 weeks. So let's start by just breaking down the math, because $100,000 seems like this big number. One of the superpowers you got to have as an entrepreneur is to stop being so enamored or overwhelmed or impressed or depressed or intimidated by big numbers. I'm not a math whiz, but big numbers are just the a culmination or accumulation of smaller numbers, right? You can break big numbers down. That's the way it works. So when you see a big number, whatever your number is, and get overwhelmed by how am I ever going to make that, don't focus on that number. Break it down into a smaller number. So for example, $100,000 is just selling a $10,000 offer to 10 people. That's all it is. Now, Graham, I don't know if I don't have a $10,000 offer. I'm going to help you with that right now. But that's all it is. $100,000 is just selling 10 people your $10,000 offer. And you need to have a $10,000 offer. Everybody should have a $10,000 offer. That might even be your beginner offer. My beginner offer is a $27,000 offer. If that sounds crazy, I mean, I used to think that sounded crazy until I realized it wasn't crazy. But you, at the very least, whether it's high, medium, or low for you, should have a $10,000 offer. So let's break down the math. Graham, what could I sell for $10,000? Well, it's not what you sell. It's not the stuff you sell. It's not the coaching program. It's not the course. It's not one-on-one coaching. It's not workbooks that you designed in Canva. It's not a book you wrote. You sell outcomes. You sell results. That's all people buy anyway. We call this the payoff of the offer. What is the payoff? They give you $10,000. What do they get? What's the payoff? Oh, the first question you got to ask is, what result can I give somebody? What payoff can I give somebody? What outcome can I help somebody get that's worth between $50,000 and $100,000? Why $50,000 to $100,000? Because that would be 5 times to 10 times what they paid for it. And you always want your offers to have a very generous payoff. I always shoot for 10 times the result, but as long as it's more than what they paid for, they win. And 5 to 10 is that sweet spot of it's the multiples of what they're paying. And they're like, dude, this is so worth it. Okay, how can I get somebody $50,000 to $100,000 worth of value? Well, let's stop and think about it. If you're in the business space or the money-making space, investment space, or the money-saving space, accountant, tax advisor, you help people get out of debt, you're a financial advisor, you're a business coach, whatever. If you're in that space, it's very clear. The work you probably do makes people money. So have you gotten somebody a $50,000 to $100,000 result? Have you gotten yourself a $50,000 to $100,000 result doing something, following your method? If so, then sell that outcome to somebody for $10,000. They give you 10, you give them 50. They give you 10, you give them 100. You can't find a better investment than that. People will take that deal every day if you communicate it in that way. Now, if you're not in a money-making or money-saving, directly money-making or money-saving industry, then you just have to do an extra step. It's not hard. You have to look at what is the monetary value of the outcome that I create for my clients. So, for example, how much am I saving them by getting this result? I have clients that are sort of mindset, relationship, health coaches for men, let's say. And the men that they work with, these are high-performing men that are losing their marriages, losing their health. Well, this gentleman who helps these guys transform their lives, he saves their marriages and he saves their bodies, okay? Saving your marriage is, I don't know how much money that is, because divorce costs what? At least half of everything you got. Probably hundreds of thousands of dollars monetarily. It also costs your relationship with your kids. If you have kids, it's the counseling bills they're going to have to pay, or you'll have to pay for them because of the trauma and the fallout. And no shame if you've ever been divorced, like just the reality of the pain of a divorce. There's no non-painful divorce. It literally is painful. And so that has financial ramifications, mental ramifications, that cost money. You got to attribute a financial number to that. What does divorce cost? It's in the multiple 6 figures minimum. Okay, what about their health? What does a heart attack cost? What does it cost to go to the hospital and get the surgery? What does it cost for all the medication and all, like, what does it cost to not get your health fixed? So there's always a cost. There's the cost to your offer if they say yes to your offer, but there's always the cost of saying no to your offer. This is the inevitable path they're already on. It is your job to figure out the monetary value of that, right? And show them that that's what it's costing them. And then you're saving them that money by getting them the result. Does that make sense? Another way to look at it is time collapsing. Does your method, does your coaching, does working with you collapse time frames for them? That could be in any industry, right? Like I help people get to $1 million a year way faster than they would without me. If you're in the health space and you're like a personal trainer, can you get somebody a result in 3 months that would have taken them 3 years on their own? Well, now you're giving them 2.5+ years of their life back. How much is that worth? Time is worth infinitely more than money, but even if we just ascribed a dollar amount to the time you've saved them through your time collapsing, well, bro, this is amazing. This is why a lot of times we compare our results to university or college, because they'll charge you multiple 6 figures to get a result. And if we can get you that result in 6 months instead of 4 years and at 100th of the price, our offer is the better deal than going to college. But nobody thinks about that because they're just like, oh, college. But college is the worst deal in the century. I don't even understand why people go sometimes. For a very, very select group of people, it makes sense financially, but most people it doesn't. So you have to figure out what result you can give somebody that's worth $50K to $100K. Everyone can do this. And if you don't think you can, this is what's holding you back from winning in business. You haven't done the hard work of figuring out what you're worth in the marketplace. Not what a coaching program should cost. No, that's not how you price things. You price things based off the outcome you give people, the result you give people. Okay? I'm going to move on. Let's start by making this offer and selling this offer. You might already have a 10K offer. Here's the reality. You do not need anything to sell a $10,000 offer other than the phone in your hand. That's all you need. Okay? The quick and dirty, if I were going to do this in 6 weeks, if I already had a business, I already had a few customers that bought anything, a course, a book, came to hear me speak, they bought a ticket, whatever they've bought from me, I'm going to target my existing customers. Why? Because it is 7 to 16 times easier to convert an existing customer than go out and find a new customer. So the easiest, fastest way is to sell to your existing customers. And if you already have a good relationship with some of them because you have a smaller business or you've worked with them privately or whatever it is, these are going to be the easiest people to sell to. Here is the script that you use when you reach out to them. Pull out your phone, message them if you have their phone number, or email them or DM them, whatever. And you say, hey, fill in the blank of their name. Hey, Graham, do you trust me? Or you could say, hey, Graham, this is a weird question, but do you trust me? I got this idea from my friend Richmond Den. Brilliant. I love this opening line. Do you trust me? I never thought of it before, but it is the most perfect question to start with for 2 reasons. One, because all it takes to make a sale is trust. Trust is the most important thing you could create with a prospect or a client. That's why optimizing for sales and optimizing for closing isn't the point. Optimize for trust in everything you do, because when you have trust, then the sale will come more naturally. So you hopefully already have trust with these people. And when you ask, hey, Graham, do you trust me? Weird question. Do you trust me? You're reminding them, because 99 times out of 100, they're probably going to say, yeah, absolutely. They trust you because they've watched all your content. They trust you because they've purchased something from you, or they know you, or they worked with you, and yeah. So you're automatically getting a yes from this question. Yes, Graham, I trust you. Yes, Susie, I trust you. Yes, Stephen, I trust you. Whatever it is, right? I trust you. So they're already saying yes. You're starting the conversation with them giving you a verbal yes. 2, it's reminding them that you are a trustworthy person, and they're having to go, yeah, I do trust this person. I do trust her. I do trust him. And then you're establishing that this relationship is built on trust, and you're starting this conversation built on trust. Because I think sales does require trust. So we're establishing there is trust. You've said yes to me, and we're starting this call. Does that make sense? So I love that question. Thank you, Richmond. Beautiful question. Hey, blank, do you trust me? Next question, once they say yes, or however they respond. If they say no, it's probably ain't going to work for them. Move on to the next person. Assuming they say yes, say, I have something really cool. I have something really cool that I'm only offering to a select group of my favorite clients / customers like you that can help you generate an additional $50,000 to $100,000 in your business. I just listed an outcome, right? You would fill in the blank for your outcome. I have something really cool that I'm only offering to a select group of my favorite clients and customers like you that can help you get in shape in 3 months instead of 3 years. Or it can help you save your marriage so you don't walk through a potential divorce. Or can help you buy back 10 hours a week of your time. Or can help you, like whatever the thing you help people do, and have that 5x to 10x value of the based outcome of the offer, right? When you describe it. So like when I reached out to a past client doing this and sold a $100,000 offer. And the script went like this. The basic ask was like, hey, I've got something really cool for you that can help you generate an additional $1 million in your business in the next 12 months. Because $1 million is 10x the offer that I made him, which was $100,000. But I just started with like, this is the outcome. This is the payoff. Is that because it's filtering. Do they want that outcome? And if you know who they are and you've done your due diligence on the basics of what they want and you know what you can deliver, they're going to say, yeah, that would be awesome. Would you want to hear more? So I have this amazing thing for a select group of people like you, my favorite customers. So now there's a compliment. It's not for everybody. It is limited. It's going to help you get this payoff. You always lead with the payoff because nobody buys anything else but payoffs or outcomes or results. Would you want to hear more? So now we've led with, you trust me. We have a relationship built on mutual trust. 2, I have something really cool for you. You're excited about it because offers are opportunities. That's going to help them. Don't make an offer that's not going to help them. Always remember this. They need you and your help way more than you need their money. You got to preach that to yourself. You got to believe that in your core. When you realize that, yeah, they need my help way more than I need their money, you'll show up more powerfully, humbly, but powerful, right? So we have a relationship built on trust. I have something really cool for you that's going to help you get this incredible outsized result. So now we're leading with what they care about, their desire. And now we move into permission-based marketing. Would you like to hear more? Because they can say, no, thanks. I'm already working with a coach, or I'm good, or if they're just like stressed out, they can always say no. They have the power, and you want them to have the power because we're not convincing anybody of anything here. We're making an offer, okay? So they're going to want to hear more. And when they say, yes, I'd love to hear more, get them on a call. Awesome. Like if you're really good, you can do this over text. If you really know the person, you could probably do this over text. But get them on a call, right? Say, hey, do you have like 20 minutes this week to jump on a quick Zoom call or phone call or whatever? Get them on a call. So now a lot of things are happening. They know that you've got something for them, so they know an offer's coming. They know what it's all about, helping them get this result they really want. That sounds incredible. Get in shape in 3 months instead of 3 years, right? Add $100,000 to my business, save me $50,000 in taxes. They already know what's in it for them, and that this is only for a select few people, and they want to hear more. If I hear more, they want to hear the price. But get them on a call. When you get them on a call, you do 3 things. Clarify. So you ask questions. Clarify their goals, their dreams, their specific desires around what you do. So, hey, Graham, thanks so much for getting on this call. I really appreciate your time. I'm super excited to share this with you. But like, tell me more about why you're interested in this thing. Because remember, they've already told you, yes, I want to hear more about getting in shape in 3 months, or adding revenue to my business, or saving my marriage, right? Or speaking Spanish, becoming like nearly fluent in 90 days versus 9 years, right? So now you put it on them. Well, tell me more why you're interested in this, which flips the script. Instead of you selling them, you're like, no, you came to me. You wanted to hear more, remember? Which is true. So then now you get them talking. You always want, the more they talk at the beginning, the more they buy. The more they talk, the more they buy. So they're sharing, they're participating, they're clarifying their dreams. So now you know the nuances of what they really want. Because you led with an outcome you think they want. Now you're going to get the language specifically of what it looks like for them. Great. So you clarify what they want, outcome, and you repeat it back to them. Okay, here you're saying you want X, Y, and Z. Awesome. Then you ask what they've tried before to get that outcome, or where they're getting stuck. Because now this is, again, you're getting more information. This is going to help you, but also it's helping them clarify, yeah, I want this thing, but I haven't gotten it. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. And here's the other things I've tried and they haven't worked clearly, or they've worked somewhat, or they've worked to a point. Now I'm stuck here. This is helping them clarify stuff, and it's giving you a lot of information to know exactly how you could best help them. Once they've clarified that they want this desire and there's a problem, then you make them the offer, because your offer is the bridge. It is the bridge from their problem to their desire. Does that make sense? And they've teed you up for this. So you make them an offer and you sell the outcome. This is how you make an offer, because all the offer is an outcome. So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. It makes a whole lot of sense. Sorry you've gotten stuck. Sorry X, Y, and Z hasn't worked, or whatever it might be. Look, here's what I'm doing. I want to work closely with you for the next 12 months to get you this result. X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. And you can talk about what it looks like briefly. Like, we can do it in person, we do it on Slack, we do it on Vox, or we do whatever. But don't worry about the details. Don't oversell the details, oversell the outcome. I want to work closely with you for the next 12 months to get you this result. So if I would say it, I want to work closely with you for the next 12 months to add an extra $1 million a year to your business. And the investment is only X. So you lead with the result. You quantify what it's probably worth to them financially. Like, I want to work closely with you for the next 12 months to radically transform your relationship with your spouse, to ensure that you guys don't go the way of divorce, costing you possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars and so much sadness and pain. I want to help you do that over the next 12 months. And the investment is only $10,000. See how we went from outcome they want, big number, down to this. And we used two important words: the investment, not the price, the investment, because it is an investment. The money they pay you is a seed they put in the ground that will grow back as a bigger harvest with more seeds, right? So it's an investment, and it's only $10,000. It's the frame you put around it. Because in comparison to the $100,000 worth of value or the $50,000 worth of value, it is 1/10 or 1/5 the outcome they're getting. So this is how it goes. I want to work with you closely for the next 12 months to help you get this result. And the investment is only $10,000. And it gets even better. Then you say, but I don't even need $10,000 right now. All I need from you is $2,000 or $1,000 or $997 to get started. Would you like to make this happen? Okay, so now we've gone from, I want to work with you closely to get this desire you just told me you wanted, that's worth up $100,000, and the investment's only $10,000. So we've gone from 100 to 10, but I don't even need 10 today. I just need $2,000 to get started. We'll figure out the rest. Whew. So now the result that's worth $100,000, I really only have to spend $2,000 today to get started. And you see how we've gone all the way down. You always start with the biggest number, all the way down to the smallest number. Would you like to make this happen? Or when would you like to start? Or if that sounds good to you, would you like to get started today? You have to make the ask. You have to call them to action. And then you close your mouth. This is like one of the hardest things to do. You close your mouth. You don't talk about the cadence of calls. You don't talk about whether they get a course involved. None of that matters, because they actually don't care. They might start to go, well, what's included, or how's that work? And you can answer those questions, but keep it brief and high level and go whoop right back to the outcome. Like, hey, I'm promising you, if we work together for 12 months, you will get this result. Do you want that or not? That's the most important thing. I will help you get this result. That's it. That's the script. Keep your mouth shut. Let them hem and haw and think about it. And if they need to think about it, great. There's never any pressure in sales. Do not pressure anybody, because if you follow the script, if you lead with outcomes and you lead with payoffs and you lead with results and you sell results and you've done your homework to say, like, the result is worth between $50K and $100K, or 3 years of your life back or 5 years of life back, and what is that worth to you? Compared to $10,000, it's nothing. And you only need $2,000 to get started or $1,000 to get started. That frame will do the work for you. And they already know that they trust you. They've already said so much. Now they just have to decide. Are they an action taker? Or are they going to hem and haw? And let them decide. If you really want to put some oomph on it, put a timetable on it real gently. Like, if they say, hey, I'm not ready, I got to think about it, or they use the spousal objection, I got to talk to my wife or my husband or my business partner or whatever. Say, hey, no problem, I totally get it. Let me know by Friday, because I'm filling up these slots. Okay? So you've got till Friday, but I'm probably going to have them filled up by then, or whatever. Just pick a day. Give them a handful of days. If you don't even have to do that, but if you want to give some urgency, that's a very gentle way to say, hey, I'm talking to a handful of other clients right now, and I'm filling up these spots, right? And I've only got a certain number of spots. And so let me know by Friday if you can, because I'm going to be moving on with other people. No pressure, right? Just if it's for you, great. If it's not for you, it's all good. Ball is in their court. Does that make sense? That's your script. Okay. What do you do if you don't have any customers? That's the play if you already have a customer or client base, even if it's only 10, 20 people. That's the play. If you don't have any customers, you're like, I have nothing. I haven't even started. How would you make $100,000 in the next 6 weeks? Everything is the same. The difference is you don't have the people immediately to get on a call with, so you have to go find them. The fastest way to do this is to spend $300 to $500 on meta ads. So this would be Facebook ads or Instagram ads. You could do YouTube or you could do Google ads, but I would probably do meta ads for a couple of reasons. But one is you're going to be able to target your people pretty powerfully, and you're going to find them right where they are and invite them to something free. So the play is really simple. Get as many people as you can into a free webinar. Don't call it a webinar. Call it a workshop or a masterclass. It's a free training, and it teaches them how to get the result they want. And what you do is you prepare 30 to 45 minutes. I've done a lot of content. I have a whole training on the YouTube channel, on the podcast, on the webinar funnel that I like that's working right now, the webinar script that's working right now. There's a lot of ways to create a webinar, but functionally speaking, and I'll tell you how to do it in a second, but you're going to just create a webinar and do it once a week live for the next 6 weeks. And so you run your ads constantly for the next one that's coming up. And you get as many people as you can onto it. It's just a Zoom call. That's all it is. They opt in for a Zoom call. You don't even have to have a website. You can just send them to a free landing page that you create on Zoom or on MailChimp or something. Like, you can use a free tool to create a landing page, to collect the email, to then send them the Zoom link once they register. Just get them to a live Zoom call. Do this live for the next 6 weeks and run $300 to $500 worth of ads to get people in there. Well, Graham, I don't want to spend $300 to $500. Well, you're going to make $100,000. So I can't help you if you don't want to. If you don't see the value in trading $500 for $100,000, I just don't think you know how math works. This is how math works. Spend a little bit of money to get in front of some people if you don't have an audience yet, and invite them to a live training. Do it live for 6 weeks. Here's what you do on the training, on the webinar. You break down common beliefs, common narratives, barriers, and objections that would keep them from taking massive action to get the result, aka working with you. So everybody wants the result, but what are the things that you've seen that stop people from getting the result? And address those things and break them down. This is less how-to content and more belief-shifting content. But if you shape it the right way, it can feel like how-to content because your heart is there to serve them. So serve them powerfully and give them a framework or give them something that they can use that's tangible, but make most of the presentation about this is how you get the result, but these are the things that are holding you back. It could be the 3 biggest mistakes. It could be the 3 secrets, which is a very Russell Brunson thing. But what is the big idea and the 3 subpoints that are basically beliefs they have to shift that are prohibiting them from getting the result? Break those things down. At the end of the training, and you can offer to do some live Q&A, but at the end of the training, before the live Q&A, tell them that you are working with a small handful of people to get them that big result, X, Y, and Z, $100,000 in your business, or save your marriage, or get you in shape in 3 months instead of 3 years. You're working with a small handful of people to get them this big result in the next 12 months, and you want to ensure their success. That's why you want to work closely with them one-on-one. So if they're interested in hearing more, they can book a free call with you. So now we've taken what you already had if you had clients, which is trust, and you've created that in a 45-minute webinar. Took a total stranger based off of the outcome they want. If you do your job right in the presentation, you put them in an environment where they can be immersed in your world for at least 45 minutes. And immersion creates conversion. Immersion creates trust. And so now they're like, oh man, she gets me, or he gets me, or that was powerful. So now you've established some trust. You know what they want because they already came to the webinar and titled that outcome or how to get that outcome. You've built some trust between the two of you. So now if they really are interested in moving forward, they can take an action, which is still free, which is to book a call. To book that call, they need to fill out an application. This is going to be a free Google form. The application needs to qualify them a little bit so you get some information on them. And then at the end of the application, it takes them to a book a call link. And you can always cancel those calls if you think they're not a fit at all based off their application. But you can set all this up where the Google form, as soon as it's done, the thank you page sends them to like a Calendly link or something. And that can be free also. They can book a call to jump on a Zoom call with you. And then you go back to the exact same script that I already told you that walks them through clarifying their goals, asking them what's prohibited them from getting there in the first place, and then making them the offer. Same script. See what we did there? So, all of this can happen in the next few weeks. One of my clients, Brittany, she jumped in my program recently, and she had never had a high ticket offer. She created a $10,000 offer and just reached out to some past clients and customers from years ago. She hasn't had a business or run her business in a couple of years. And she reached out and sold 5 of them in the first 30 days of working my program. So she generated $50,000 out of nowhere without anything, just like reaching out to people like, hey, do you want this result? I want to help you with it. Put something together I think you're going to like. Boom, 10K. Boom, 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 boom. This is all we're doing. We're not delaying it, making it this big process. We're just finding people, selling them the payoff, making them an offer. I hope this is resonating. Now, if you're still stuck like Graham, I'm tracking. I like it, I think. I'm a little nervous, but I don't feel like I have a good $10,000 offer. I don't know what I would include in that offer. I don't really feel comfortable selling that offer. Or I do, but I don't want to jump on one-on-one sales calls. I don't want to do these one-to-one discovery calls. Like that sounds like a lot of work. I want to help you with both of those things. I'm hosting a live 5-day coaching experience that will help you craft and know how to sell a $10,000 offer without sales calls. An irresistible $10,000 offer. Basically, an offer that is so good that it sells itself. And people are asking you, how can they buy it from you? I do this inside of what I call my 10K offer challenge. And it's 5 days of live coaching with me for only $297. You can get a ticket by clicking the link below or going to 10kofferchallenge.com. The next one is coming up real soon. So check out the dates there for the next one that I'm doing live. This is a live coaching experience. It is a couple hours with me each day for 5 days. Get the VIP ticket so you can come early and get the live coaching with me in that room. That is where people get the most transformation. I get to work with you personally for only $297. I charge $25,000 an hour for business coaching. So like this is the best deal I could give you to get a little bit of access to that. And I can help you build out your own $10,000 offer and really set you up to grow your business in the next 6 to 12 months. Scale it like 2x to 10x. Most people are leaving 2 times to 10 times the amount of money they could be making on the table because they don't have this premium offer and they don't know how to sell it the right way. So we'll fix all of that. So come check it out. The link is below, or just go to 10kofferchallenge.com. The next live one is happening very soon, so get your ticket. I hope to see you there, and I hope this was helpful. And I hope you are someone that's going to take massive action. Because if you don't, if you go, wow, that was a nice idea, nice theory, and you don't take it and put it into practice, you're not going to make it happen. This isn't theory. This is stuff that me and my clients do every day. It works. And it only works, though, if you work it. So go do it. You got time. You got a little over 6 weeks before 2026. If you're watching this when this is posted, you can go make 100K if you want to. You can do it this week if you wanted to. Other people are doing it. Why not you? They're not smarter than you. They're not more talented than you. They're just crazy enough to try it. Maybe you should jump in and join us. Have a great rest of your week, my friend. I'll see you on another episode real soon.